There are only a few figures as influential as Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher emperor, whose wisdom continues to guide and inspire us today. Imagine awakening each morning with the clarity of purpose and inner strength that characterized his approach to life. This script is your invitation to embark on a journey toward embodying the Stoic principles that Marcus Aurelius embraced in his daily routine. Together, we'll explore the philosophical foundations, practical exercises, and mindset shifts necessary to start your day like the great Stoic himself. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, a collection of his personal reflections, offers profound insights into the Stoic way of life. Central to his philosophy is the concept of the dichotomy of control, which distinguishes between things we have control over, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, and things we do not, external events, other people's opinions. By focusing on what is within our control and accepting with equanimity what is not, we can cultivate inner peace and resilience. As the first light of dawn illuminates your surroundings, let gratitude be your guiding light. Marcus Aurelius recognized the power of gratitude to transform our perception of the world and cultivate a sense of abundance. Begin each morning by expressing gratitude for the simple blessings in your life, your health, loved ones, and the opportunity to experience another day. Practical exercise: keep a gratitude journal by your bedside and write down 3 things you're grateful for each morning. Notice how this practice shifts your mindset and sets a positive tone for the day ahead. In the stillness of the morning, carve out a sacred space for mindfulness and self-reflection. Sit in silent contemplation, observing the ebb and flow of your thoughts without judgment. Like Marcus Aurelius, cultivate the practice of introspection, examining your beliefs, values, and intentions with honesty and clarity. Practical exercise: practice mindfulness meditation for 10 to 15 minutes each morning. Focus on your breath as it rises and falls, anchoring your awareness in the present moment. Notice any distractions or wandering thoughts, gently guiding your attention back to the breath. Just as the body requires nourishment to thrive, so too does the mind. Marcus Aurelius understood the intimate connection between physical health and mental well-being, advocating for a balanced lifestyle that prioritizes movement and vitality. Incorporate physical activity into your morning routine, whether it's a brisk walk, yoga practice, or strength training. Practical exercise: create a personalized morning exercise routine that aligns with your fitness goals and preferences. Experiment with different activities until you find what energizes and invigorates you. With a clear mind and energized body, take a moment to set intentions and goals for the day ahead. Marcus Aurelius believed in the power of intentionality, urging us to live with purpose and direction. Reflect on your priorities and aspirations, aligning your actions with your values and long-term vision. Practical exercise: create a daily to-do list or schedule, outlining the tasks and activities you wish to accomplish. Prioritize your goals based on their importance and urgency, focusing on what truly matters to you. As you navigate the complexities of daily life, embody the virtues espoused by Stoic philosophy: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Marcus Aurelius believed that true happiness lies not in external circumstances, but in cultivating a virtuous character and living in harmony with nature. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, exercising resilience and fortitude in the face of adversity. Practical exercise: reflect on a recent challenge or setback you've experienced. Consider how you can apply Stoic principles to navigate this situation with grace and wisdom. practice reframing obstacles as opportunities for personal development and self-mastery. As the day unfolds, remain anchored in a state of inner peace and equanimity. Like Marcus Aurelius, cultivate a mindset of acceptance and detachment, recognizing that external events are beyond your control. Embrace the present moment with openness and curiosity, surrendering to the flow of life with grace and humility. Practical exercise practice the art of letting go by releasing attachment to outcomes and expectations. Notice any resistance or clinging that arises within you, and gently remind yourself to surrender to what is. Trust in the inherent wisdom of the universe and embrace the inherent uncertainty of life. As the day draws to a close, take time to reflect on your experiences with gratitude and humility. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and learn from your mistakes with compassion and forgiveness. Marcus Aurelius believed in the importance of self-examination and moral inventory, urging us to strive for continuous improvement and growth. Practical exercise before bed. Conduct a brief evening reflection practice. Review your day with honesty and curiosity, acknowledging both your successes and areas for improvement. Express gratitude for the lessons learned and opportunities for growth. In our exploration of starting each day like Marcus Aurelius, we have journeyed through the depths of Stoic philosophy, delving into the timeless wisdom that guided the emperor's daily routine and shaped his approach to life. From the foundational principles of gratitude and mindfulness to the cultivation of physical vitality and the embrace of Stoic virtues, we have uncovered the essential elements that can empower us to awaken each morning with purpose, clarity, and inner strength. But our journey does not end here. Indeed, it is merely the beginning, a stepping stone on the path towards self-discovery and personal transformation. As we reflect on the insights gleaned from Marcus Aurelius's teachings, let us remember that the true essence of Stoicism lies not in intellectual discourse or theoretical abstraction, but in the lived experience of embodying its principles in our daily lives. In the quiet moments of introspection and self-reflection, may we find the courage to confront our fears and limitations and the wisdom to transcend them. In the face of adversity and uncertainty, may we draw upon the wellspring of resilience and fortitude that resides within us, tapping into the boundless reservoir of Stoic virtue. As we navigate the complexities of our modern world, let us remain steadfast in our commitment to living with integrity, authenticity, and compassion. Let us embrace each day as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery, approaching every challenge with grace, humility, and an unwavering sense of purpose. And so, as we bid farewell to this journey through the life and teachings of Marcus Aurelius, let us carry forth the torch of Stoic wisdom, illuminating the path ahead with the light of reason, the warmth of empathy, and the steadfastness of virtue. For in the pursuit of a life well lived, there is no greater guide than the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, and no greater inspiration than the examples set forth by Marcus Aurelius himself. May we strive each day to honor his legacy, to embody his teachings, and to walk boldly in the footsteps of the great philosopher emperor. And in doing so, may we find fulfillment, meaning, and a deep sense of inner peace that transcends the ephemeral trials and tribulations of this mortal coil. Farewell, dear traveler, and may the Stoic virtues accompany you on your journey through life, guiding you ever onward toward the realization of your truest potential and the attainment of lasting happiness and contentment.